Hello, everyone, and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is All Things Thursday, and I have a couple of things, some that are extremely special, and one that we're going to be reviewing tomorrow that was sent to me for review. So let's start with the very special things. I have a very, very special friend in Australia, Tammy, Amazon Tammy, as people know her on YouTube, and she is just the loveliest lady, and she has sent me a beautiful card that she made herself just for me. See, it says just for you. It's so pretty, and it's so well put together, and my goodness, the work that she must have put into that. It's gorgeous. And of course, it's got a little note. It says just because you're awesome. Well, Tammy, you are awesome. I love it. Absolutely love it. And she's got the even ladybug. Yes. I absolutely adore handmade things. So yeah, I'm fangirling girling over it. She also made me some more wonderful work in progress and finished pages and to be colored markers. So now I have 6 of them. So now I can mark lots of stuff because I like marking stuff. I love her. She's just so wonderful. Anyway, another thing that came in the mail this week is this wonderful set of pencils. I haven't tried them. I was asked by the company to review them, and of course, I love pencils. So, and who can not love the psychedelic packaging of a hippie crafter? Now, this is a small company here in the U.S. These are made in China for this company. So I'm going to flip this over so that we can see some information. So it says rich velvety lead, blend beautifully, creamy texture, easy to work with, premium quality wood. The tin case keeps from breakage. Da, 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 da. And conforms to ASTM, as well as made in China, manufactured for Love and Pieces LLC out of Miami Beach, Florida. So the Hippie Crafter is owned by Love and Pieces LLC, and they are located in Miami, Florida. They do have their own website, but they are also available on Amazon. So there we go. So we're going to take a little peek at the pencils. Like, look at that. Isn't that cool? See, is there any information on the back? Oh, there is. So there's some share your creations, so how to tag them and whatnot so they can see what you color. Your happiness guarantee and how to get a hold of them if you need a refund. And the same here, if you have any questions about the products or anything like that, it gives you the address and email and that sort of thing. Now, they reached out to me and asked me to do this review and that sort of thing, which is great. And I love their packaging. Got the little peace signs all through there. Now we have a little pamphlet here that tells you all about their company. They're a family-owned American small business committed to producing professional-grade art materials developed by crafters for crafters. So we set out to create a line of premium quality products that we would want to use. We pride ourselves in the exceptional customer service and offer support if you have any questions. So they have all different things like stretched canvas, paints, epoxy tape, artist tape, all sorts of things. Resins, transfer tape, paper, watercolor paper. Might have to get some of that. But yeah, all sorts of cool stuff. And of course, it tells you all about them. Now, the pencils, if you can see them, let's see, I'll tip that a little bit better here. there we go, are the Black Barrel pencils. Now, I'm going to reach out to the company and ask a few questions about the pencils themselves. If they are a white label pencil that are labeled just for them, but are the manufacturing specs, or if they are their mixture in the pencil themselves. So I'll be reaching out to them and asking them about that. I haven't colored with them or anything else. I just have looked at them and noticed that they are the same Black Barrel shiny labeling that other pencils of this type are. And with them being made in China, makes me wonder if they are just a white label with their name stamped on them, which is fine if that's the case, but I want to know for sure. So this is pumpkin yellow, and as you can see it says Hippie Crafter here, and it's number 91. I don't see any breaks in the barrel anywhere. The lead looks very well centered. Of course it's dipped on the end so I can't see the end of the pencil, but all of them look like they're very well uniform. This one here looks a little off, but I'll know more once I sharpen it. Sometimes you can't tell, like this one here has a very high area there, but until I sharpen it, I can't really tell if that's just the way that the factory sharpened it, or if it's a problem with the pencil itself. So I'm going to give it a sharpen, and we'll take a look. So it is just a bit of an issue with the way that the manufacturer sharpened it. So we've got pretty well centered. It's not perfect, right dab in the middle, but it's pretty good. It's not that bad. And I'm not seeing any major jumps. Like this one here is a little bit long for the packaging, but I'm not seeing any pencil bouncing due to a curvature of the pencil. Well, there's a couple here that are a little bit bouncy, but I'm not sure if that's just they're a little long for the, yeah, I think it's just that they weren't seated into the package properly. This one and this one both look like they need to be checked out for sharpening. So as you can see, the wood goes up quite high on the lead. This one's not too bad, but this one's up pretty high, so I'm going to sharpen it and see. I will, of course, do the swatching as well as the regular testing and all that stuff tomorrow. And I will be reaching out to the company to give a gather full information and give a full review at another time. Tomorrow will just be the opening and swatching and first impressions. So after sharpening it, it is fine. It's just the way that the manufacturer sharpen things. So I'm quite sure that the other one's the same way. It's just a manufacturer sharpening with the dull tips so that during transport they don't break. But that is the fun stuff in today's All Things Thursday. Again, Tammy, thank you very much for your card. I really do appreciate it. It's awesome. I do have a bit of a dent in the case here, so it may have gotten bashed around coming from Amazon or in the mail. But yeah, there's a good knock in the case as well. So we'll check for breakage and whatnot tomorrow. So that is our All Things Thursday. Now, we also have our 100 hugs. Now, I do know that our video is a little bit late. Well, it's a lot late today. Normally, this is done in the morning and before, and released before noon. Today, however, I had a phone call with a family member that had to be taken care of, so it's a little later than normal. And I got my wedding rings back, so I will be able to wear my rings now. Yay, me! It feels weird having them back on. I haven't had them on for months, and it just feels funny to have them back on. But we will be coloring in the 100 Hugs book. Yesterday we finished the gorilla and the baby. And today we get a mousey and a tree. So I'm going to switch you over to the close-up camera so you can see him up close. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit because he is a little small. I'm going to turn on a light maybe. Yeah, that's better. Still going to zoom you in a little bit because he's tiny. So I hope everybody is having a wonderful day and has had a great week. Of course, I hope you're looking forward to the colorathon this weekend, done by Shell Artie. She is our main host. And of course, I will be on Saturday at my regular time. So I'm just going to zoom you in so you can see the little mousey. See that? He's being hugged by the tree. Isn't that cute? All right. And I forgot to hit OK before I shut the window. Yeah, it's been one of those days, I'm telling you. It had to have been a full moon recently, or just coming out of a full moon or something. It's been one of those days. Not a horrible thing, but it's just not something I wasn't I had so much to do and I just haven't been able to get myself into it all. So I've got the pencils pulled out from the Mitsubishi Uni set, so we're going to be using those because yeah, it is that week. So I'm going to be grabbing a dark color first. So let's go with 617 dark green. And I'm going to actually pin this so that it doesn't flop open on me every time I move my hand away. So I've got that pinned open for you so you can see it. And I'm going to pin this other side too, just so that I'm not having to fuss with too much movement of the pages because they're falling out of the book. And I'm going to sharpen this pencil. Alright, so we're going to start with, actually we're going to start with a light green first, not a dark green. So we're going to start with forest green. And we're going to just put in the light green for the tree, and then we'll go over it with some dark green and give it the shadows and depth that the tree requires. So I know that I do believe Shell is currently live. No, it's Belinda who is currently live with her contribution to the colorathon. I'm not sure if she'll be adding more to it, or I haven't stopped in to see her video yet because I got off the phone and my husband got home, and it's just been one of those weird days where it just seems that everything is different for some reason. The air is different. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or not. I need to reflect on it. That weird panicky feeling. It's not really panic, but it's not. It's a weird panicky feeling um, when things aren't normal, when things aren't the same. That's how I feel right now, which is odd for me. I try to avoid that feeling the best I can. But every once in a while, somebody throws a monkey wrench into what you avoid. Now, I know this camera doesn't pick up the greens very well, so this is probably looking very gray to you, but it is green, I promise. And it's actually one of the lighter greens we're going to use, so. Just going through and putting in some color here. I'm just blanket coloring everything here. Not worried too much about how much color I'm getting on there, because I'm going to go back through with a darker green and do the branches and the needles that are sticking out, and those darker areas. Like so. And this green is dark green, is number 617. The one that I used previously was forest green, which was 618. Which is fitting since we're coloring a tree. And of course I'm still using the Mitsubishi Uni pencils in the 100 set that I showed on Collection Mania Monday, because why not? Tomorrow we will use the new set for the coloring for tomorrow. I'll sharpen this a bit. See if I can adjust that color. It looks horrible. Doesn't look right. So let's that's better. That's a little better. It's actually showing green, which is good. So, alright, so let's do this one. Oh, goodness. Oh, turned it down too low. Okay, so that's better. You can at least see the green. So just give that a quick sharpen so I get a good point on it, because we're going to come in under here with all of these dark areas. And you need a fairly good point. Evergreen trees are kind of like flicking fur and that sort of thing because of the way their needles are. So you just kind of doing little bits of flicking in shadow areas and lighter areas. Just getting that look to the branch, to the tree itself. Hopefully that made sense and I didn't just sound like a complete doorknob. Basically, I'm flicking the fur of the tree. Well, you never know. Maybe it's a fir tree. It's not a pine tree, but yeah, could be. It's whatever kind of tree I want it to be because yeah, it's hugging a mouse. It has to be magical, special. All right. Okay, dokie. All right, so we've got the dark green areas put in. A couple more areas here. I didn't feel were quite dark enough. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the really light green and we're just going to put little areas of it in just to brighten that up a little bit. Now I'm not putting it too much everywhere where there's really dark, but I am going to put it in where it's a little bit less dense in some of those highlight areas. So the really dense areas we're going to leave alone. But in those looser areas where there's more open space, we're going to put this lighter green tone in just to brighten it up a little bit. Make it look like there's some light hitting it there. I don't know what's going on behind the tree, but we're going to color it that way anyway. Then we're going to take our light green again, which is forest green, and we're just going to fill in the rest of the open spaces. Darken up that green that we already put in on the base. And this looks like it's a cut tree. Oh, okay, so it's a Christmas tree that's no longer Christmassy, I guess. Or it's a Christmas tree that is about to be Christmassy. It's loving the little mousey though, so that's all good. Alright, so we've got the tree done. That part of the tree done. Now we're going to take color I thought I had out, but I didn't. Here I thought I had all the colors out that I needed. I don't seem to have a little bit of brown. I want a bit of brown. So we're going to grab sepia. Which is number 621. And we're going to go in here. going to do the trunk of the tree here. Okay. And there's our tree trunk, and now we're going to take a little bit of black and we're just going to darken up a couple of areas here. Now because this tree is already cut, you're going to have a little bit more darkness in its base than if it was a fresh tree. Now for our little mousey, we're going to start off with a little bit of gray. I'm not going to go with silver gray. Is this one warm gray? Smoke gray. I think it's this one. No. Trying to find the right gray. I want a bit of a brown gray. Charcoal is a little dark. I want a brown gray, but I don't want a dark brown gray. So let's see, what's this one? That's dark sepia. There we go. So this is warm gray. And we're just going to fill in his little cheekies here and start with light and then build up to the dark. Now because I'm going to do the floor, because of the floorboards in a brown color, I want him to be a lighter color so he stands out against the darkness of the floor as well as the darkness of the tree. Color his little hand there. So then we're going to take a little bit of blue-gray, just a touch. And we're going to cover in just a little bit of these darker areas. Down the base here. Yes, I know, I just flicked that away with my finger. I am sorry, Evelyn. Then we're going to take a little bit of the brown. This is just the sepia, or yeah, sepia. I'm just going to give those darker areas just a little bit of brown to let them stand out a little bit. And like I said, I've got the grays in there to have it stand out against the floorboards because the floor is going to be, of course, brown because they're floorboards. So, all right, now we're going to do his little nose, and I'm going to sharpen this up. Actually, I think I'll use a different one. Use this one. So we're going to put a little pink on his nose and a little pink in his ear, like that. I know that looks awfully bright, so we're going to tone that down just a little bit. There, that's a little better. I don't know why it looks so bright on there, but now we're going to do the floorboards and the wall. So that's a shadow back there. I colored it green, but it's a shadow on the wall. It should have been colored in a different color. I didn't realize that it was a shadow. That's my bad. So I'm just putting in the shadows here underneath the mouse, underneath the tree, and doing the edges of the floorboards. There's a lot of pine needles there as well. So we'll be doing something with those here in just a moment. So now we're going to take Van Dyke Brown. And because these are wide open spaces, I'm going to put down the dark first, and then I'm going to build from it, because I know that I'm going to be using a fairly light hand, and I want the lighter color to overtake this darker color. I just want the darker color to tint that light color that I'm going to be using over top. So now we're going to take raw umber. We're going to add a little bit of that yellow raw umber color. Now I'm not going too hard because, like I've said throughout all 62 pictures so far, is this is not a coloring book. This paper is not meant for coloring on. So it doesn't take the abuse that coloring book paper will. Sorry, I did not realize that I was out of screen. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm just going to loosely color a bit of the wall here. And then we're going to take brown ochre, and we're just going to fill that in a little bit. And I'm just doing it very loosely. And then we're going to add a little bit stronger of a yellow brown ochre color here. I'm going to move this out of the way. There we go. So I can get into this area here. And I'm going to move this. Alright, now we need, let's see, so this is dark sepia. Just putting those lines back in. And then, what's this one? Nope, that's Van Dyke Brown. We already used that one. Okay, so first we're going to take our evergreen. It's hunter green. Yeah, we're going to use hunter green instead. And we're just going to put little pine needles all over the floor. There we go. And then we're going to add a little bit of the lighter one just to dry them out a little bit. Alright. So there are our pine needles and our tree and our little mouse in the floorboards. Pick up all these pencils and move them out of the way. And then I'm going to take my blender and blend this in just to get that smooth effect on the floor. Like so. So there we have it, our little mousie hugging a tree. And that is our hug of the day. And I'm going to switch it back over to the main camera so you can see him a little bit better. And there we have it. I'll zoom you in a little bit. And then we have our little mousie hugging the tree. So we're going to mark this for today. And of course it is October 21st, 2021. And this is hug number 63. Yes, I did have to look. So there is our hug of the day, a wonderful little mousy hug to a wonderful little Christmas tree. I hope you have enjoyed the hug of the day. Again, Tammy, thank you so much for your wonderful gift. I absolutely adore it. It is fantastic. Isn't that wonderful? And it's got sparkly jewels on it. It's got sparklies. Like, who can say no to sparklies? And it's pretty, and it's pink, and it's wonderful. Thank you so much for thinking of me and for all of the hard work that you had to put into this to make it as beautiful as it is. I appreciate you. Again, guys, thank you all very much for joining me, and I hope to see you again tomorrow when we review the Hippie Crafters colored pencils. Hippie Crafter. And we will go through and we'll review these tomorrow. I will try to get some information on them before I do my initial swatching and whatnot. If not, the next time that you will see them, I will have more information. All right, guys. Until then, have a hug. Have a wonderful little mouse hug. And thank you all very much for joining me. Until next time, always remember to relax, color, and stay safe. We will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.